Okay, I'm talking with Peter Hepworth. He's the CEO of Axelos, which is a new joint venture between the UK government and the Capita organisation. They're charged with commercialising the best practice models developed by the UK government. First of all, Peter, can I ask you that Axelos was formed as a joint venture between the UK government and Capita to commercialise best practice models. What does commercialise mean to the new entity, and what change will this mean for frameworks such as ITIL and Prince2? I guess what I'm asking is, what is Axelos's role in the ITSM industry going forward?
Yes, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to be with you here. We're in a commercial world. We were before the joint venture, and we continue to be. I think the new opportunity is around investment in the framework, so in ITIL, Prince2, and the whole portfolio, as you mentioned, but to focus maybe on the ITIL and service management and itSMF, we very much will be looking to invest. But we'll do so when we've done a lot of research and particularly working with the ITSMF community.
Okay, what do you see as the major challenges in growing the relevance and reach of the best practice IP that is now owned by Axelos?
Yeah, right now it's there's so many opportunities. The biggest challenge is linked to prioritization. And we're working on that, and we've had great discussions here today on our roadmap. Specifically on the relevance, I think a priority focus there is on the value proposition to make those who don't maybe yet see the benefit of service management to their organisation, even though there probably many elements are present there, is to bring it alive and to show the value. So focus on value proposition.
Okay, thank you. Now, what sort of new products or initiatives are currently prioritised by Axelos, and what sort of timelines are in place to realise these objectives? So I guess what are the best growth opportunities for you?
Mm-hmm. So as far as new products, we've recently launched a new product, the ITIL maturity model. Beyond that, at the moment, we're very much focusing on the existing portfolio. So it's exciting times. We will be looking to expand the portfolio and therefore look at new products. Really, for now, we're focusing on the existing. I think there was a second part to your question.
The relevance, the role of Axelos in the ITSM community going forward.
Yeah. So as you may have read and may have seen last week, we were delighted to announce a new Memorandum of Understanding. So that is, it's really building on the part. It's not new that the IP owners of ITIL, which from now is Axelos, been working with the itSMF community and internationally. This really cements that cooperation, and we're looking for all the ways that we can collaborate.
Okay, you mentioned the ITIL maturity model. Can you just briefly explain what that is as a new product?
Yeah, well, it's in response to a desire, demand, need for benchmarking, and as organisations, companies adopt ITIL and progress with their thinking and seeing the value, it's a way to sense check where they are, to benchmark against others in their sector, and to highlight areas of further improvement and investment.
So where can interested parties find out more about the ITIL maturity model?
Yeah, so from 1st of January, we'll be delighted to launch Axelos.com. In the meantime, we are using Google Plus to communicate collaboratively, and specifically for the maturity model, which is an online self-assessment. It is on the existing bestmanagementpractice.com website.
Okay, thanks very much for that. Now, one of the things you discussed today was the need to transition from big bang releases to a more modular or evolutionary development type of program. Can you explain what you mean by this?
Mm-hmm. It's one option. Okay, so the reason to have and it was a great discussion today, so thanks for all your team, is to look at does it make sense to continue with the periodic refresh, which may be after a period of time, and therefore I think someone used the big bang, or as all of our world continues to evolve, does it make sense to have perhaps a more modular approach So that's what we're discussing at the moment. We haven't concluded, and it's certainly one option.
Okay, now you also mentioned the Memorandum of Understanding between itSMF International and Axelos. How could you briefly summarise the content of that Memorandum of Understanding?
Very positive, briefly. Seriously, it was great to announce it. It's an international agreement, so I was very pleased to be able to announce it last week at ITSMF Japan, to sign it here whilst in Australia, with and having been yesterday in Sydney, today in Melbourne, so meeting a number of the members. It's a cooperation agreement, and as I mentioned at the start, it builds on existing cooperation, but is designed to really make sure, as we continue to globalize the products, and there's more translations coming on stream all the time, that we're working with the right community partner, and we think we've found the right one.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Now, also another thing that has been discussed for a while, and which also came up in discussion today, was the growth opportunities and logic in the concept of eliminating or transitioning the IT from ITIL and ITSM, so that there is more of a focus on service management and less on IT. Do you have any strong opinions on that?
Yeah, that was, I think, one of the biggest discussions today. I think the way we're looking at it is as additive. So the ITIL is, so if the question is about are we keeping the brand, then absolutely yes, we're keeping ITIL. Also, looking at the principles of service management, the principles of delivering services, delivering value, how can that be made even more relevant across the business? And it's a communication discussion, so it's business service management in addition to IT service management, I think.
Okay, now we're fairly isolated down here in this part of the world, in Oceania region, but we're also very close to one of the largest growth markets in the world, being Asia. What role can and will the Oceania sort of and broader Asian regions play in Axelos's strategy going forward?
Yeah, again, as I continue to play an important part. Maybe most people know this, but ITIL penetration in the Australian market is the highest in the world. So per capita, ITIL penetration highest in the world. And looking across our portfolio, if I may, the PPM, Prince 2, and the 7 products in our PPM portfolio, the maturity model, you just asked about ITIL maturity, the P3, M3 model, it also has the highest penetration and use in your market here. So we're really looking to build on that. Very interested also to discuss potential ways where the Asian market as well, and what makes sense. But I think that's quite early days in our thinking. Yeah. Okay,
now we're getting towards the end here. What are your expectations of where ITIL will change over the next, short to medium term, 1 to 3 years? And when can the industry expect the existing training and examination schemes to be replaced?
Yeah. Well, short term, there's no change, and it's an important message of continuity. If you're in your organisation or you're a candidate thinking about perhaps starting on your journey and of qualifications, there is no change. So that's a great message of continuity as we go through January. We've published our roadmap. I mentioned Google+. We'd really like to encourage comment on that to continue to improve it. It's about continuing for ITIL to stay relevant. So I think we've got an evolution approach, and there's some elements on the roadmap of career pathing, complementary framework, white papers, and staying relevant that way. Particular focus on the value proposition, answering that so what question to organisations. Longer term, I don't think I have the answer yet, and that's where, again, it's to collaborate with the users, and the user community will inform any changes we do make.
Okay, are there any other issues that or messages that you feel are important for Axelos to communicate with the Australian and broader ITSM community at the moment?
Yeah, to the Australian market, and it's great to be in your market. I had really rewarding meetings in Canberra, in Sydney, in Melbourne. We're looking forward to coming back to your market. It is the first time that there's been representation in your market, and to the point I made about the highest penetration in 2 of our products, it's a key market for us. So just thanks for the welcome and the discussion.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to me and for coming to visit us in Australia. It's been a pleasure for our organisation to host these events. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.